In this episode, we're sharing exactly what we'd do if we were starting a brand new social media account for a client today.
Welcome to JFDI with the two Lauras. If you're a social media manager, you are in the right place. Every week on the show, we share tips, ideas and advice about working as a freelance social media manager, from content ideas to business tips and strategies to make more money. And on the show today, we're talking about what to do when you're starting on a new social media account. This is something we're asked about a lot, and the advice we're going to share is relevant whether you're starting your own new account or a new account for a client. And if you have more questions about this after listening, we'd love to help. The best way to get our personal advice is always in the membership, the Inner Hub, and we'll pop the link to join the waiting list in the show notes, or you can come and chat more in our Facebook community, the Social Media Managers Hub, and we'll pop the link to that below as well.
Okay, so I think what's important to consider when you're first starting, and this probably is on any platform, is how that platform looks if someone comes and finds it. So imagine you put a piece of content out and it happens to go viral on your first ever piece of content.
I mean, well done, amazing if it does, by the way.
Well, yeah, I'll drink to that. Although it does sometimes work like that, don't they? They do sometimes push brand new accounts to get you like addicted. Anyway, so you have a piece of content that goes out, and then someone comes and checks out the page or the account, and the bio just says coming soon, or there's no other content on your Instagram grid or what have you, and the account's not kind of optimized and looking good.
Looks a bit dead.
Yeah, then what impression is that going to give? And I get straight away you're thinking, well, that's ridiculous. You've got to start somewhere. There's always going to be your first post. But I think what we're saying is you want to have content on that grid. I say grid, if this is any account, that like populates that profile. So if for argument's sake, you're thinking about Instagram, you're probably thinking those first top 9, maybe 12. So when someone lands on that account, it looks like there's more happening than there actually is.
And we don't mean that it looks all pretty and there's like a puzzle grid and all of that. We're not talking about that.
No,
we're not talking about aesthetics.
No, it just looks like there's something happening. And because it's like the reverse psychology of when, you look at an account and it's full of content, but nothing's been posted for 2 years, you straight away think, and you don't bother following. So we're talking about content and it's not just shit content. Don't just put stuff out there just because you want to fill the grid. Make it useful. So it's just imagine if someone then, when you then start posting a bit more kind of strategically in terms of, I know, increasing your visibility, if someone then comes to your grid, what do they want to see? What do they need to know about you and that business that makes them think it's right for them and therefore will want to follow?
Yeah. I think what you're saying basically is that early content isn't like the early posts that you're putting out. The purpose of them is not to grow the account necessarily. The purpose of them is for people, when you start working on growing the account, people land on there and they get it. They understand what that brand is about. They're not just going from one post thinking, well, I don't really know what this is. And like, I would totally be put off from following an account unless it was like a celebrity, or they had some sort of reputation.
Or someone you knew.
Yeah. Then I would probably follow them if they didn't have any other content. But if I was to see a post in my feed and then I go over to their account and there's nothing else there, I'd be like, oh, well, they're just obviously some sort of spammer, or they're just obviously, like dodgy. It wouldn't fill me with any kind of confidence.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I would think the same, but maybe we're too cynical in our old age.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely would want to know more before I would follow an account. Not that I really follow many accounts nowadays, but
no. But also, like with that early content, like don't worry that, like, it needs to be good content, but don't worry that you're going to be wasting good content because you can repurpose it. This is like the sort of evergreen content that you would be using time and time again. Just get it out there on the grid, for example, if it's Instagram, or a couple of posts on Facebook or whatever, and then you can reuse it again.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we've done that. We've made our accounts look like they're well lived, like a pair of slippers, and then I guess we switch into strategically, what do we need to be doing, how, and without a doubt, any brand new account, their focus needs to be increasing that visibility, increasing that reach, It's not, if a client says to you from day one, I want leads, I want sales, then they're clutching, aren't
Run
they?
a mile.
Yeah. It's down to you to say, well, look, that's great, but I can't sell to no one. So I've got to build you an audience first. So thinking therefore about how you can increase that reach, one of the ways that you can do that is by collaboration. So are there like business friends that your client already has that maybe they can help you by doing some collaborations with them? If there isn't, can you identify them with the help of your clients, but doing that kind of research yourself to think, okay, who is kind of has an influence over my audience? And I think this is something that people struggle a bit with nowadays, because you say influencer and people automatically means that you think they mean that you're going to have to work with someone and gift them a product or pay for them to go on a holiday, or that's not what we mean when we talk about the good old fashioned influence. And that's just someone who has influence over your audience, which could be a tiny account with 2,000 followers. But if it's 2,000 followers who are your audience, then they have influence, don't they?
Yeah.
So you'll want to be trying to address who those people are, and can you do some work together? And it could just be that they share your post. It doesn't have to be anything.
Yeah, we're not talking about they need to go and create you some amazing content. This isn't that. This is this is collaborative. Yeah. So that means, you're probably doing a lot of the work as well.
And a lot of that early stages, like I can remember when I've worked on clients in that situation before. There's a lot of pushing yourself out there. It's quite kind of you've got to get out there. You've got to have the balls to kind of start conversations, because no one knows you exist. You've got to do that, and you've got to find those people who have that, who you can benefit from, I guess.
Yeah, totally. And the other way and your favourite way of getting visibility that you need really early on, shareable content. You need content that people are going to want to share. But obviously you need to have a few followers who are going to actually see it, potentially, who will share it in the first place, which is where the collabs come in. But what kind of shareable content can you create that is going to reach the right people? Like, you don't just want to reach anyone. You want to make sure you're reaching the right people. So what can you share early on that is shareable, that people will be happy to share, and then that will bring people back to your account?
And it can be like, when we think of shareable content, lots of people will think, oh, I've got to find something funny, or da-da-da-da-da, which is all great content. But actually, some of the best, I was just thinking this, there's a local coffee shop just opened by me. It's next door to another coffee shop. And so you kind of think, oh, there's competition there. But they put a post up, and they've done it a few times now, where they've tagged all the other local kind of bars, cafes, like compliments, saying who's going here to watch the football, tagging that business. And then that other business, because they're all small businesses, they're all trying to, keep their heads above water. They're grateful that they've promoted their account, so then they share that piece of content. So if you flatter other businesses, again, those businesses that have influence over your audience, then that's shareable content. It's just a bit more, I was going to say forced. That's not the right word, but because you're tagging them, you're kind of saying, I'd love you to share my content without actually saying that. Yeah, it's like saying it without saying it. And obviously sometimes people will and sometimes people won't. And you have to be realistic. If you tag the local business that's got 100,000 followers and are like viral, and you're like, you've got nothing. Sometimes it doesn't always work like that, rightly or wrongly.
And you have to have a good reason for tagging someone. Don't just like random tag, spam tag.
Yeah.
There needs to be a reason. Like, if you were to write a sentence, their tag would fit into that sentence, not just randomly, because it's just like, that's just annoying, and that just puts people off of you.
Yeah, especially if you don't have any kind of relationship. Like if it's a business, another business, or a person who you have a relationship with, it can be slightly easier. But yeah, definitely. So shareable content, but sometimes kind of asking discreetly for that share is not a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think also at the beginning, and this is probably a conversation you would have when you were taking on that client, or maybe at the proposal stage, is asking if there's an ad budget to get that account going, because sometimes that can just help to give that an early boost. You know, if you've got ads running, it's never going to be a bad thing, is it, to try and like kickstart a new account?
No, absolutely. And I think, and sometimes and even just a boosted post, you don't have to go into Ads Manager and do a full-on proper ads campaign. Obviously, if they want that, then that's brilliant, and you'll always get better results that way. But sometimes just getting your content in front of the people you want is a boosted post would do just that on most of the platforms.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big budget. You know, it could be a nice small budget just to kickstart it.
It could just be like a tenner here or there.
Yeah.
And that's better than nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And just remember that if you're going to be doing that, if you're going to be boosting posts or doing ads really, but that isn't an ongoing strategy, as in they're happy to say, look, here's £100, do what you like with that with boosted posts, but we're not going to do ads on a long-term basis. Make sure you're strategic in how you do that, and i.e. don't rely just on the ads. Make sure that when you're posting content, that if someone's engaged with your ad, then they're likely to want to engage and respond to your next lots of posts, so you can kind of hook them in. So just, be mindful of what you're posting in that period of time that you're boosting posts.
Yeah, it's not an ad that says, come and follow our page. Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like engaging content that you just happen to put an ads budget on.
Yeah, and then you'll want to follow up with more engaging content that people then think, oh my God, this is a great account, I'm going to follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just have one great post boosted and everything else is shit, is basically what I'm saying.
Great advice.
And I wonder whether, just on that, like, what's your thoughts on brand new accounts doing like giveaways and competitions? Because I see this a lot.
Well, we've done a whole episode about this, haven't we?
Yeah.
I can't remember what number it was, but I'm not a massive fan of competitions. I feel like if you're doing it at the beginning, it needs to be so strategic and so specific to get the right people, because you want to be building an account of the right people. And if you get it wrong from day one, it's just going to make life really, really difficult. So I think, yes, if you can do it well, but there's probably better things to do. I think you'd be better off spending that money that you were going to use to buy a prize on an ads budget. What are you thinking?
No, I agree with you. I was just wondering whether you thought differently if it was like a brand new account. Like, I just hate competitions.
Yeah, I think I'd be less inclined at the beginning of a brand new account rather than like, a little way down the line where you've got a bit of an audience. I think I'd be more likely to do it then.
Yeah. And this is kind of related and slightly unrelated, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Oh, God.
Have you seen and this is obviously just Instagram specific, but have you seen now when you're tagged in a post, like in a comment, you get a DM?
Oh, yeah, so annoying.
It's so annoying. And I keep getting this, and people DM me, and I'm like, oh, what, especially people who I haven't heard from for ages. They're like, oh, I wonder what they're DMing me about. And they've just tagged me in a post because they want to win
a
lifetime supply of
nappies.
Pants.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? You said nappies, I said pants. Isn't that
weird that we're totally on the same wavelength? Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, so just be mindful of that, I think, because you don't want to piss people off, because then I'm purposely like, well, I'm not going to follow this account because I'm pissed off now.
Yeah.
Which is pathetic of
and
me.
I don't care if you don't win your nappies or your pants.
So then another thing to do, and I kind of already slightly touched on this, is that being proactive with your engagement. So when I mentioned earlier about you are going to have to put the legwork in and build some relationships and flatter people, and this falls into that proactive engagement. There's probably more time needs to be spent on proactive engagement and being really strategic than actually what you're posting on the grid.
Oh, people won't like that, Laura. That's going to go down like a lead balloon, but I do agree.
But don't go just heavy on the proactive engagement if you've not done what we started this podcast about. So you've got to make sure that you've got stuff on your account, everything's optimized, everything's looking good, the bio is really clear on what you do and who for and for what reasons and what have you. And then you go hard on engagement.
Yeah.
Like, because people aren't going to come and find you. People don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm just going to go on Instagram and see if that local greengrocers has been set up. Like,
I knew you were going to say greengrocer. We have had so many comments from our podcast about the examples of businesses we use in this podcast, being like greengrocers, dog food companies. I was expecting, maybe something a bit different, but no, we'll go down the greengrocer route again.
Well, just stick with a greengrocer.
Stick with what we know.
But my point being, people don't know you unless they know you.
Yeah.
They don't. So they can't come and find you. People can't come and engage with you if they're not looking for you. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. And they're not looking for you. So yeah.
Yeah, and the algorithms obviously in theory will work in our favour and show people content, but it's not as easy as that, is it? So I just think if you're trying to build relationships, get in front of people, get chatting with people, it's just the right way to start, and it's start as you mean to go on.
Yeah, and I think that there needs to be conversations with clients about this, because if you are starting a brand new account and you're like, that most of your efforts will be put on proactive engagement and you're going to post like once a week or whatever, twice a week, whatever, your client may not understand what that means. They might think, well, why am I paying this much money and she's only going to post twice a week? They need to understand the strategy of using that proactive engagement and how important it is. And what we don't mean about proactive engagement is going and dropping fire emojis on people's posts and saying, love
Great
this.
post.
Like, yeah, we're not talking about that. We're talking about proper conversation starters with the right people, going and finding those right people, putting the time in to go and find those right people, and then going back and engaging with those right people again. It's a lot of work you've got to do. There's a lot of kind of tracking you've got to do of those accounts and stuff. And that's all time and effort, and your client needs to understand that.
Yeah. And it's a good habit to get into, because proactive engagement should be part of your strategy forever and ever. Amen. And I think the balance might switch. So you become heavier on the reactive engagement as you start to get your own engagement on your account. But proactive engagement is so important. Otherwise, you're just pushing out content to nobody.
Yeah, totally. And if you don't know what we mean by proactive engagement, go on Threads, scroll through your Threads feed, and eventually you will see brands like Hootsuite and Buffer, like all the schedulers. You'll see people like I can't think of any other brands. The Calm app, probably Coke. Lots of different foodie brands commenting and replying to people's posts. And you'll see. I say Threads because the Threads is the easiest place to see because it's so public. And that is what we mean by proactive engagement. They are going out and they are finding content that's relevant to them, that they can comment on, that will highlight them to that account owner, but also to the other people who are commenting. They're replying to people who are commenting on those posts as well and having conversations to bring themselves up in their feed.
Love it. Okay, so if you haven't switched off because you didn't like us talking about going and having to do proactive engagement,
you're probably going to switch off now.
No. So the next things you want to do are things like, just think about your tracking, which, like, I can hear people snoring. Things like your meta pixel, and you'd be like, oh, hang on, that's not important to me. I'm only doing organic. It is important, because the pixel on your client's website as soon as it's on there, it's collecting data. So if in a year's time, 6 months' time, 10 years' time, they decide to run ads, the more data you have on your pixels, the better. So get your meta pixels on all pixels, actually, not just I've got meta in my mind, but all platforms, Pinterest, whatever, LinkedIn, everything. Get all those on the website, because it will go in your favour if you want to offer ads to your clients in the future.
And also, if we're talking about your brand new account, put it on your website. This isn't just for your clients. Everything we're talking about today is for you as well, and this is stuff that should be on your website.
Yeah, 100%. And you'll also want to be thinking, get your Google Analytics set up, or get access to your clients' Google Analytics, and get your UTM. What's the word?
Structure.
Yeah, structure. That will do. Get that sorted so you can start using UTMs from the off, because that's just so amazing. If you could, I'd love to work on an account that had UTMs from the start. Wouldn't that be a dream if you had all that data?
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think if you do it from the start, you get into the habit, don't you? Like UTMs it's a habit. And it's a habit that we are not very good at sticking up with. We have to keep reminding us, oh crap, the UTMs. So if you can do that right from the beginning and get into the habit of using UTMs, then you're doing yourself and your future self a massive favour, because you can't just rely on the in-app stats.
No.
Like the in-app stats will only tell you so much. They might tell you that you've had link clicks, but they won't tell you whether the people who clicked that link actually ended up waiting for that website to load and went on that page and went on another page, went and read a blog or went and bought something. The in-app stats can't tell you that, but your UTMs can help you to understand that customer journey and whether people who are engaging on your content are also actually turning into buyers. And that's really important for your clients.
Yeah, I agree. So bit of geeky stuff.
Laura loves the geeky stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But it will all help. It will help you, I promise.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you for sticking around for this podcast, despite us telling you that you need to do proactive engagement and set up all the boring UTMs. If you're looking for more ways to grow your visibility for your clients or for yourself, then do go back and listen to episode 115. We went into depth on 9 different ways that you can grow your visibility on any platform, so that would be really helpful. And if you've got any questions, then come and find us in the Facebook group. We'll make sure the link for that is in the show notes. And we will be back same time, same place next week. Am I right?
We are. No, we will be. God.
We'll see you then. Hopefully we'll have our brains switched on a little bit more.
Steady on. Bye.